Howdy doody buckaroonies, and welcome back to another episode of Morning Coffee with Cameron. In this video, you're going to be watching me make this video. Today, I wanted to share with you my process for filming YouTube videos. I get asked about this quite a bit, and I wanted to share my filming and editing process and talk about the gear I use and all the ins and outs of everything along the way. Throughout this process, I'm actually simultaneously filming 3 different videos, this video being one of them, so it should be an interesting production, and I've actually filmed part of the video so far already. I'm actually just filming this all way out of order, but through the power of a little bit of Hollywood magic, you would probably never know the difference unless I told you that. So let's kind of dive right into it. Today's episode of Morning Coffee with Cameron is brought to you by you. Yes, indeed, Rooney, people just like you who have joined my channel community. I recently launched my Patron program, and it's been a pretty cool experience so far and been pretty successful, so that's pretty excellent. If you join with the link down in the description below, you get a behind-the-scenes look at things going on the channel. There's track feedback and track sharing sessions, there's exclusive vital presets and sample packs, and a whole lot more. So if you want to join and become a part of the channel community, as well as get access to the exclusive Discord chat where we talk about government secrets and whatever, you can do so with the link down in the description below. I do appreciate it, and it's a great way, if not the best way, to help support the channel so I can make more videos like this one. Before we get to filming for the day, I guess I should talk a little bit about the pre-production side because I didn't show that here. Every video starts out as a Trello document or a Google document where I will put together all of my notes and write out my outline. I don't really work off a script that's word for word, but I do work off a set of just bullet points. This allows me to work through a video effectively and just keep myself on track and make sure things are as concise as possible, because nothing drives me crazier than when a video is just full of a bunch of what seems like endless fluff. Usually the writing process takes a handful of hours. It really depends on how complicated the video is. Some videos are very straightforward and I may have it done in as little as 1 hour or even less than an hour in some cases, but other videos can take several days and a couple rounds of revisions where I'll work on it every night and just refine it and refine it. I'll do a bit of a dry read of things where I will more or less just act out the video just by saying things or doing things to the camera, trying things out, seeing how it feels, making any notes and adjusting along the way. And then once it's done, I move it into the production card on Trello, and I know that that video is ready to be shot, so I'll just pick a couple videos and start working through them. The production notes will also contain other things like specific shots, where am I going to film the intro, where am I going to be sitting, and other just little details like that. And this is just to remove as much work as possible in the moment, and I can focus purely on just filming and doing the thing that I need to be doing. Okay, so we've showered, we're all beautiful and ready. Up the stairs we go here into the studio, and we are now on set and ready to go. I've already set everything up, so I just wanted to walk through everything a little bit. So this video is mostly just one long talking headshot, so that's all kind of noted in the production. I've got some other shots to do, but nothing too major. So this is basically what you don't see. This is the look of everything and how it's set up, and we've got the camera ready to rock and roll here. So I guess let's quickly go through lighting. Jumping back in here on the note of lighting, I just wanted to do kind of a quick demonstration shot to show what each of these lights does, because I feel like this might be useful if you are looking to film some of your own YouTube videos and just maybe have kind of a quick discussion on the more technical aspects of the lighting here. This is sort of a 3-point-ish lighting setup, but it's a little bit different, and I wanted just to go through step by step how I light my videos. First, in the beginning, there is darkness. Typically, I'll have my computer screen on, maybe, it kind of just depends on the video, but this does kind of help to define me a little bit here, but this is what everything looks like, and this is all of the practical lighting outside of the lamp. So if we bring in the key light, this is really the primary light for the video, and if I only used one light, it would look like this, which doesn't look bad. I do kind of I believe it's called Rembrandt style lighting, and this looks pretty good, but I feel like it's maybe a bit dramatic, and it looks a bit too interviewy, and it's also very boring in the background. There's not a whole lot to look at. The hair light is the next thing, which looks like this, and that just helps define me from the background a little bit. Without the key light, this is really all that this hair light is doing. So you can see it kind of defines my shoulder, it defines the rest of my face, it defines my hair since, you know, it's a hair light, and it just kind of gives a bit of a highlight to everything back here. But as you can see, there's not a whole lot of spill other than lighting up some of the equipment here. The background still stays very dark. With the key light, you can see the background as well does stay pretty dark. When I put both of these on together, this is the whole setup. So let's talk about those cool background lights. First up is the Edison lamp thing back there. It's fairly bright. I usually have it at about maybe 60% brightness or so, otherwise it kind of just blows out. But this is another good thing just to separate my hair from the background. Kind of like I mentioned, I have very dark hair and typically wear pretty dark clothing. I have a dark chair and I have a pretty dark colored room, so this just helps define me from the background a little bit. Without the main lights here, it would look something like this. So that just does a good job of bringing some visual interest to that corner, and combining this with a relatively cool light here, which is more of kind of a daylight color, this just balances out the image in a nice way. And this light as well is pretty warm. These two are actually more or less the same color temperature. So we have a really warm side over here balanced out with a very cool side over here. Bringing it all home, we have the little Waylight portable light thing on the tripod in the background there, and that's just an uplight. It just lights up the curtains and the background and just makes this all look a little bit cooler. Again, to show you just the background lighting, it looks like that. So we've got a nice warm color temperature, typically a coolish temperature. Today I went with purple rather than blue, which I typically do, but you can see this also does define my outline a bit. If we bring in that hair light, this is kind of everything else except the key light. So this is really the cool lighting for the video, and then it's just one big primary light to fill everything else in. This might actually be just a touch bright, so we could probably dip that down to right around here, and this is really how I light all my videos. That is the lighting setup. Camera is set up here. I actually just got lazy and started using this permanent dummy battery cable. That way I don't have to worry about batteries running out when I'm filming, so nothing too fancy there. Film with a Sony a7 III. This is the talking head setup. So Sony a7 III Sigma 30mm 1.4. This is a newer monitor. I don't remember the exact model, but so if we fire that up here, I don't know how this will really look, but then you can see everything. And this is what I use just to monitor the shot and the color and stuff. If I can even get that without just a ridiculous amount of glare, probably not. But anyways, this is what I use to just watch myself while I'm shooting and make sure everything is in frame, and I can keep in mind where I need to sit and stuff like that. Super useful tool, very cheap as well. This was one of the cheapest monitors I could find, and it does a great job. With that, I think it is time to set up microphones, and I'll just kind of quickly run through how I do this. I have my Deity S Mic 2 here. This is what I use for all my videos. It's my favorite microphone for videos. Just sounds super good. It's very affordable and really just a nice dialogue microphone. I find it has a pretty pleasing all-around tone. It's not too brittle and poppy. It's not too mellow though. It's just a good broadcast style microphone, I guess. Okay, so the mic is set up, and the mic setup looks typically like this. It's on a DR stand. I'm not exactly sure what stand it is specifically. Nothing really too fancy or important to talk about. Basically, it just looks like this, so that's where I sit. There's the microphone, and it's just kind of hidden just out of frame. I guess to give you a sense of what it looks like from my perspective, this is basically it. So the mic sits probably about a foot or a foot and a half away. It's above me, just out of the frame, which is what I use that newer monitor for, so I can just see exactly where the mic is and make sure it's not in the shot. Angled down towards my mouth, and that's really it. There's no real miking secret. I get asked about that all the time, of like, what mic do you use, or how do you mic, and that makes your voice sound like that, and it's not really that. I just sound like this all the time. It's not really a case of like proximity effect or something. That's just really what it looks like. So I guess just to give you a sense of what this all looks like from my end, this is basically what I see, and then this is all the pretty side that YouTube ends up seeing. Other than that, the microphone just runs out into My interface, which is back there, that's the AudioFuse Studio, that's going into OBS, and that's where everything gets captured, and then I'll pull it apart later in editing to do all the other stuff. With that, I guess we're kind of ready to get rocking and rolling here. I've got my coffee in the background, so we're gonna go grab that. Still pretty early afternoon, so it seems like a good time for a coffee. Fun trivia fact though, the mug is usually never empty. It's usually water or tea, especially if I'm filming really, really late at night, or it is coffee, or it is bourbon. It kind of just depends on the time. There's only been a handful of times where I've filmed with an empty cup because I already drank whatever was in it, or it was just kind of in between refills. With that, it's time to get to filming. Like I said, this video is kind of just one big talking head, so it shouldn't be too difficult. I've got my phone on my lap here just so I can work through my script and my notes just to do everything that way, and the only thing left to do is turn off the ceiling fan so it's not making a bunch of rumbly, low noises into the microphone. Back at you with the vlog camera here. That's a wrap. We're done. We're filmed. I picked up the dog from the groomer, and we're all good. So I'm gonna start dumping footage and all of that, and we're gonna move on to shoot all the cool cinematic B-roll stuff just to make a nice intro for this. For these cinematic intros, I don't typically have too much of a plan unless it's something a bit more specific. In this case, this video is about 5 free tools for producers, so I'm just gonna do kind of a funny, short voiceover thing. So we'll probably need maybe a minute or a minute and a half of B-reel. But I want this to look particularly good. The cinematic stuff I do spend quite a bit of time on, you know, framing and lighting shots and making them look really good. I just wanted to show you some of my other lenses here really quick that I will typically use for this kind of stuff. These are all my lenses over here, and these are all, except a couple of them, vintage M42 lenses. For those of you not familiar with M42 lenses, basically these are old Pentax lenses from the, you know, 70s and 80s, I think even the 60s in some cases maybe. You can buy some pretty old ones. They're very, very cheap. They're all manual. They're all typically prime lenses, meaning they don't zoom in and out, and they're really good. I mean, they're about as sharp as lenses can get. I really like them, and they just save a ton of money instead of having to buy some big, stupid, fancy lens that costs $1 bazillion. I mean, I think the most expensive one of these I own was maybe 80 bucks compared to, I think that lens was $500. So these are really, really fantastic, cheap lenses. I only have a couple that are my go-tos. First up, I have this one, which is a Recanon. I'm probably pronouncing that totally wrong. This is a 50mm prime lens. This is my favorite lens for filming these cinematic intros with. That's typically the one I use the most. I've got a 35mm over here somewhere. I don't know where I put that. That must have got moved or put back in the box. And then I have this, which is a 135mm prime. This is a 2.8, so it's not quite as shallow, but this is one of the best looking lenses I own. This is a JCPenney lens, I guess. So 135 prime, that's probably my favorite, but it is a bit tight, especially in smaller spaces. It's not my first choice. These go on the camera using an adapter. This adapter maybe cost $15, if that. It might have been more like 10, and that lets me use all these super cool lenses with my camera and saves me a lot of money in the process. So with that, we're gonna swap lenses and start doing just some cool cinematic shots. Like I said, don't really have a plan for these usually. I just kind of figure how much footage I'm gonna need. I just shoot a bunch of random B-reel. Usually each shot is about 30 seconds or so, and then I'll just cut it up when I'm editing and make it look nice. But we've got all this space to work with, so we're just gonna kind of go around the room, find some stuff that's interesting, and find a theme. I think in this case, since it's all about tools for producers and whatever, I might just film like my calendar and my desk and, you know, stuff about being busy and doing work. So that's gonna be the theme with this one. Very quickly, just to talk about these intro cinematics. This is the setup. I've got the 50 on here now. We're gonna film a shot of this calendar. Every single one of these cinematic shots requires unique lighting, and I have to kind of plot out what I'm gonna do with it. In this case, I think we're gonna kind of pan across. I don't know if I'm gonna try and do a focus pull or not. So these intros really do take a lot of time. Typically, this is the majority of shooting, unless it's a particularly long video or a video with a lot of different shots. This is where a lot of it goes. This is usually about an hour, maybe more, just depending on the length. of the intro. So for this shot, I've just got the 2 lights, but some will have a lot of light. I might have the lamps on, I might bring the little Waylight portable light in, I might even bring out my other lights, which are kind of hidden over there at the moment. I might bring those out as well if a shot just needs a lot of special lighting to make it look good. This is a very tedious process, and really there's not much more to it other than just like I watch a lot of movies and stuff, so I kind of just think of shots I liked from movies and more or less copy those, and that's how I make these intros. Sometimes these shots can be particularly challenging and interesting. This is a pretty complicated shot, actually. I'm still trying to sort out, but I've got a bunch of lights going on here. I've got the practical in the back there. I've got the little portable light set up at an angle, trying to just provide some color contrast and stuff. I've got the key light here, but it's set up in such a way that we get a bit of haze in the shot, and then the background light that was my hair light has the softbox on it, but that's lighting up the desk here, because see if I can try and get this in. I'm filming this shot, and it's just really annoying because the desk has to have the right amount of lighting going on to get enough separation with things, but the little color light has to be in a very specific spot to get a bit of lens flare, but now there's a trash can in the background, so yeah, these things take a lot of time. I'm honestly not sure why I do this to myself, but people seem to like these cinematic intros, so I think it is worth the effort ultimately. Hopefully people enjoy these, because man, they suck. I'm not gonna lie, it's not a whole lot of fun. It's a good challenge and it's fun to try and do something unique each time, but God, some of these just take forever. Most of this process is just sitting here and waiting. I'm filming a shot right now, and I have to sit here and be very still so as not to make any movement that's going to vibrate in the camera. The lighting has been moved around again. The lighting colors have been changed, all that kind of stuff. And I'm only on like the 7th or 8th shot here, and I'm already starting to get tired of this. And we've now reached the point where I'm officially out of ideas. I just got the last shot, and usually by the time I'm out of ideas, that means I've probably got enough to work with. Plus there's a bunch of unused B-reel from other videos. I've been kind of cataloging and saving that just to add filler every once in a while. You know, I just need one more shot or one little thing. So with that, we're gonna dump all that footage, and I think that brings us to lunch. Typically videos are filmed in and out of order. I just keep pretty good notes of like what shots I need and what I'm doing in the videos. That way I can film just randomly. You know, if I'm got everything set up, I might just film 5 of the video intros in one day. I'll just change shirts or something and then just write down or screen capture whatever outfit I'm wearing so I can match it. And then, you know, I might film all the tutorials in one day. I might film just a bunch of B-reel one day. It's all kind of all over the place. So yeah, that's lunch. So it's now lunch break time. I try to eat something normally sort of healthy-ish, as tempting as it is to just go to McDonald's or something. You know, I gotta eat real food and stuff. I find, you know, eating good food helps my brain function better. So I do have to avoid the temptation to eat something super fast and microwavable, but lunch break typically consists of stuff like this. I'm gonna sit here and dump a bunch of footage. I gotta go through all the production notes of these videos and kind of check off what's done, check through everything and see what else needs to be done. I've got to look through my notebook probably and figure out the 5 million other things I need to do. And that's pretty much my break. There's not really much of a break at all until I'm just done for the day. So still got several hours of this to go. I don't think I'm gonna edit today. I might start some editing, but that's probably gonna be about it. There is one thing I have to edit in order to film the other video I'm gonna film today. So I'm probably gonna do that first and then tackle the rest of it. So I've got a conversation to have with Ben Jordan here. I've got some broken stuff I need to fix on my website. I've got emails, a bunch of emails, and I don't even want to know how many Instagram and Twitter and Discord DMs I should probably try and make some progress on. It's really just a never-ending battle. So that's lunch break. So lunch break is over, emails are mostly done, things are rocking and rolling, and now it's time for a quick outfit change here, because I'm gonna wear this shirt for 2 of the videos, and then I'm gonna have to change for the other one just so I'm not wearing the same shirt for like 3 videos in a row. This is always something that can be kind of annoying because then, like, you know, I might be between haircuts or something as well. So sometimes I have to really keep in mind, like, where things are in the process before I can, you know, do my laundry or change my hair or anything. So yeah, we're gonna swap outfits, film 2 intros. I guess I should film the intro to this video before I swap shirts and do this other one. So back to the grind we go. It's about 2:15, so we still got plenty of good working hours in the day, as Dad would say. This shot's gonna be a little different. We're gonna be doing this kind of background couch thing just because this looked nice in another video I did, so I want to use this again. I'm going to set the little portable light behind the couch. That'll give me a nice uplight, and we're just going to do some intros, and that'll be pretty much it. I need to edit the other video in order to film the rest of that video, so I'm going to have to film a tutorial segment and then an outro, but in order to film the tutorial, I'm gonna have to edit something first, so I think I'm gonna film the outro for that next, just while things are set up and rocking and rolling before I take a break to edit that and then film that tutorial. Okay, so now it's time to film the tutorial segments of the video, but first we're gonna need to edit part of a video in order to do the tutorial. So I guess before we do that, I wanted to just show you the tutorial filming setup. So in this case, I've got the lamp back here on. That's kind of the practical background light just to make that nice. The newer 660 Pro, one of those is set to blue. That's bouncing off the wall just to fill this in. You'll kind of more or less see that much, so it just looks nice on camera. And then the other 660 Pro is over here, bouncing up into that corner off the white ceiling, and that's going to be my key light. Then I will sit right here with the mic just out of frame once again. So this is pretty much exactly the same as the intro setup, just a little bit different. And then the camera is over there behind me, so you can maybe sort of see that there. So from my perspective, I see all this stuff, and you only see the nice, pretty bits, more or less, kind of like this. So we're going to open Resolve and start doing some editing to get this tutorial ready to film. So this is starting to feel super trippy and meta. I'm making a video about the making of a video about scoring a video. So that's starting to mess with my brain a bit. Anyways, this is Davinci Resolve. I've dragged in all of my B-reel here. So we're doing the intro for the 5 free tools video, but this intro is going to be the basis of the scoring tutorial. So if you follow along with that. So what we need to do here is first just drag in all of our footage. All looks pretty good to me. So we've got about 8 minutes of B-reel in total. That should be more than enough to make a decent intro. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is probably write out the like funny script bit that's gonna go under this, and that way we'll have the voiceover. Once the voiceover is done, that will let me know how long the edit needs to be, and from there I can start pulling this footage apart, editing it together, and then we'll go from there. Okay, the intro is now written, so we're gonna record the voiceover just direct into Resolve here. So we're gonna head over to Fairlight, go to the input, patch up, all of this stuff, and for the sake of not doing this all at the same time, because I'm not sure if this is just going to cause a bunch of feedback, I'm not going to go through the rest, but basically I'm going to record the voiceover into here, edit it in here, and then we'll be good to go to edit the actual video portion. So I'm going to bring this mic down, just record it direct with the S mic too, and go from there. Whew. Okay, and I think that's gonna do it for the voiceover bits. Now we get to move on to editing the voiceover together and then editing the footage on top of it. For my YouTube video recordings and whatever, I typically do some pretty basic processing. So I just go in here and open up Snap Heap, and I have a preset right here that is everything I do for my YouTube videos. So some of these settings change based on what I'm doing. For these intro voiceovers, there's kind of just generic movie guy processing, And then for the actual tutorial bits, I take off this low boost and adjust this compressor just to taste. Other than that, this is really all that goes on here. So it's just a little bit of a low and high boost just to add some clarity to things. And then typically I will go in here and just add a filter and bring in a low cut just to cut out any rumbly bits. Usually this is more or less what the general processing chain looks like. The filter may or may not be there. It kind of just depends on the video. With that, I guess we're good to just hop into the editing tab and start splicing together this voiceover. Okay, so for the sake of not driving myself totally insane trying to talk to a camera and edit this all at the same time, we're just gonna do things the old school way here with a webcam and a mic hooked up. Basically, we're just gonna chop all this together and make a nice intro, and in order to make it look super cool and cinematic, we just hop out here and grab these fun aspect ratio bars, stretch that out across this whole bad boy here, and that's pretty much the editing process, but we'll jump back in and do some color grading. So Resolve has crashed on me 3 times now trying to make this intro, and this is pretty much the whole process. It's Resolve crashing and being stupid, my computer getting hung up trying to do all this, or some combination thereof. So now I've got to wait for like 12 hours for Resolve to boot and go through all my plugins again, even though I've told it not to a million times. And I just need to resist the urge to beat my face into my desk. So now I'm rocking and rolling and making some good progress here. I've converted all my slow-mo shots to be cool slow motion shots. And then we just need to line up some cuts. So this is basically the rough editing process. Now we just need to find a couple more shots. Okay, so the intro has now been edited down. I'm good with all that. We can delete this leftover stuff, save the project before Resolve tries to take another giant shit all over my dreams. Anyways, the next process is coloring this. So coloring is kind of complicated. I'm not going to go into it in too much detail, but basically this is the part you don't see. So we're going to have to add a couple nodes here and make this look nice. I feel like that's actually pretty good, and that's all the fun of it. So now we have to sit there while Discord and a bunch of things keep pinging me over and over and over, because my life is one never-ending hell of notifications and things that apparently need my attention. So now we're going to check through everything here. Some of these shots just don't look quite totally right, and some of the cuts aren't done yet, so we're going to have to watch this back and adjust any rough cuts. But yeah, now we're going to have to go through and check these. So this shot looks really bright compared to the other ones, so we're going to need to go in here and just adjust the look of this specific shot. And yeah, this is the fun of editing. This is really where the majority of time gets spent, and you don't see any of this normally. So hopefully all of this comes through and people appreciate the work that goes into this, because every single shot has to be adjusted individually. Sometimes it's less work, sometimes it's more work. It really comes down to the specific shot and the specific video. Okay, so the intro is now edited. I turned my lights back on. I'm starting to get a bit of a headache because my shoulder hurts, and my neighbor keeps revving his car engine and driving around the street for some reason, so that's kind of fun. One of the things I've learned over the years since I started doing this stuff full-time is that it's important to take breaks, and I've reached that critical moment where I literally feel like I am about to break down and like start crying or something. I'm just so fed up with this at this point. Like, this is just a very long day, so we're gonna meander our way down to the kitchen here despite this terribly ugly lighting in that shot, and whip up another coffee because caffeine makes the sadness go away. Bit of a beagle break. I think beagle breaks are important when it comes to making videos. So at this point, things are pretty well underway. Do you have anything to add? Maybe tomorrow will just be a full day of editing all of this, and that's something I need to try and be better about, honestly, is like filming a bunch of stuff in one day and then editing on a different day, I tend to get obsessive and try to film and edit all in one day just to get as much done as I possibly can, but it's really not healthy to do that. But, you know, I guess it depends on if I get to sleep at a decent hour tonight, if I can sleep. I feel like at this point, because I've done so much today, it's going to be one of those nights where I can't go to bed because I just have a whirlwind of things remaining to get done or just other ideas floating about in my head. I think I might want to work on some new music after this. So my day isn't really done. I just get to be done with work, you know. Then I get to do more fun stuff like write music and things like that. Maybe even try and get greedy and work in some time to play some games. But, you know, I would like to also play with the dog and maybe read a book or something for a bit. I think we're making good progress, and we should be able to get a good amount done before it's time to take a break for dinner and whatnot. Whew, okay, I think that is a wrap for the day. I just finished filming the scoring tutorial segment and the outro, so I don't think there's really anything else to do other than edit and dump the rest of this footage together, and then once this is all done, I guess I'll have to film the outro for this video too. The editing process really isn't that interesting. It's more or less exactly the same as I already showed, but there are a few key differences which maybe I'll talk about a little bit. Okay, so it is now about 1 in the morning, and I know I said I should be better about not editing videos, but I went ahead and edited all 3 videos so far. I edited most of this one as well, but it's pretty long, so this one's going to take a lot of work, but I think I'm good to just call it for the night. I feel like this video is just going to be particularly challenging, and it's also getting to that point where it's frustrating to think about. Every YouTube video anymore is very frustrating to think about, but this one especially is just one of those ones that feels like it's such a big effort to film and edit all this, and I feel like not many people care or are interested in this, so I just feel like it's one of those things that's a huge time sink. But hopefully this video turns out good. But yeah, I think I've reached that critical point where I can no longer look at things nicely, and I'm getting pretty tired. I did take a break to eat dinner, and we watched a couple movies, but I just got back up here and got back to work, which I needed to just cut myself off. So I think I'm gonna maybe play some piano for a minute, watch some YouTube, and go to bed and try and get an early start tomorrow. But the good news being, since I did all this editing tonight, that makes tomorrow a bit of a lighter day. I think I may just use that time to play some video games or something. But yeah, that was a very, very full day. A lot of just sitting here staring at a screen. Callie's back there passed out, signaling that it is definitely time for bed, so I guess I will be back at it in the morning to finish this video out. Good morning. I know I said I was going to try and get an early start, but that didn't end up happening. I got a particularly stupid comment last night that just kept me up and really made me mad, so that was super fun. You know, it was a pretty shitty night already, and that just really capped it off. So I woke up around 9:30, and it's now just after noon, and I've been editing just since I woke up. So now the other 2 videos are done. I'm editing this video up to this point right now, and that's pretty much where I'm at. At this point, I'm just glad these videos are edited and we can get to some of the final stages. But before that, I think I'm gonna take some time to finish my coffee, go shower, and then get ready to finish these out. All right, I'm all showered and shaved and beautiful and in a slightly better mood now. So what we're doing is finalizing things, and I just wanted to very briefly show this. Basically, first up, I design a thumbnail, which I have a template for. I use Affinity Photo for all my thumbnails these days. Then I will go in and research a bunch of titles and ideas here. So I'm looking up some tools for producers and other terms along those lines to see what kind of thumbnails are people doing, what kind of titles are they using, what tags did they use in their videos, how does this video rank, things like that. So for example, we could click into maybe this video from In the Mix and not do that because it's going to get copyrighted, but we could see the tags and other ideas just so I have an idea and some references to pull from to make the video hopefully do well. Other than that, I just go in, add the description, upload the thumbnail,
do all the stuff and do all the annoying back-end things that just take forever to do, and that's really the whole process. So all that remains to be done is edit the last bit of this video, which I'm filming right here, right now, and then render everything, and that's a wrap.
With that, we're now done. The only thing that is left to do is just schedule these and wait for them to come out, and then wait for the inevitable stupid comments to roll in that just crush my soul, and then do it all again next week. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and hopefully you liked this kind of inside look at the goings-on behind the scenes of this channel, and maybe found it a bit insightful if you plan to start doing YouTube videos yourself, and maybe just give you a bit of perspective on what it's like to do this, and I guess maybe give you some ideas on how to handle video production and whatnot. With that, I guess we're done here. I need to start getting ready for a live stream tonight. I need to get some other work done along the way before the next round of videos starts next week, and that's pretty much a look at a day in the life. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, and I hope you liked the ride along the way. With that, as always, I hope this inspires you to get out there and make something awesome. Thanks for stopping by, and it's time to get back to work.